So we've got loads of stuff, specifically industrial stuff in this update. And there's also quite a lot of UI stuff. So this is the Hiroti HT55, almost forgot that. Not very good at vehicle names with numbers and stuff, personally. So yeah, it's a dump truck. It's not massive, it's not like the Belasmon scale. Which I guess I'll have a link to the top right about now to show what I did with it. Surprisingly well viewed short. So yeah, it has many things. And it shouldn't really be going this quickly. Oh, I have actually overset it. I was thinking, surely it can get to like 60, so it does get quite damaged from this, but I suppose it still isn't supposed to be doing this. Like, it's supposed to be going slowly off-road, not at 50 miles an hour. I didn't really get a slower. Oh, that's hit the cab directly. Yeah, but not good for the cab, that. So, yeah, there's all this, there's a cab and whatnot. There's even a little passenger seat. A fire exit in a vehicle. Yeah, it is quite large. You can see as some of the stuff spawned in. Because there's also another vehicle I'll show you in a second. But yeah, there's some like new rock crops going through over here. That I'm sure we're gonna see lots of in like YouTube videos and stuff because it spawns all of these in at once. And also they are the grey ones, not the orange ones. If you want the grey rocks, the Cliff Road that is quite loud. There are some collision cams for that sort of stuff. Like, I guess it does show the off-road of this. Yeah, that is this. I'm just gonna leave this here. And this is the next thing, sitting around the corner of a building. It's a dump loader thing. It's a Hiroti WL40, I think. Yeah, this is what I mean by this year. Don't crash into it, right? So, it does drive a bit differently to normal, as you may be able to. Well, to most normal vehicles in Beam, and to be honest, most vehicles in most games, because there isn't really many. Right. There isn't many games like mods in Beam for this. I was gonna say there's not many games for this. Yes, there's probably lots of games for this sort of thing. You can see when I press control and alt and stuff now. It's part of the new UI thing. So anyway, I'm going to show you some of this because that default, like the default.pc thing, which is the default vehicle, doesn't work. Well, it's being sort of deprecated now. So wherever my hopper is, there it is. It's still there. Just yeah, I'll fix that at some point. Here are these two, which are in the heavy machinery category. This one is cars and trucks, and I feel like the bus is almost heavy machinery, not quite. To be fair, the T series somewhat. Well, it depends how big the T series is. So you've got these two. I'll stop making the UI sounds now, because there's like loads of stuff in for the UI, and I have like three half large post-it notes. So I have the UI. What does that say? Oh yeah. So the hints thing that I complained about a lot being here, that was a bit weird, was being moved into this bit. And for specifically these two vehicles, it also has like some visualization stuff for this. However, I don't. Yeah, it's not on. This isn't on other vehicles yet. And also, for some reason, I'm having some issues with like. Right, it does work. Why is there a lock button? Anyway, but yeah, you can do that as well. I don't know why my inputs aren't working. They worked last time I tested them, I swear. This is just some, yeah. But for some reason they only seem to go in one direction when I've tried. Why? I don't know. They just do. Also, I don't know why it can extend that far. You would have thought there'd be like a limit to it before. Oh, I guess if it was digging in the ground, like obviously. Wait, you can still see her right now, right? Oh, that's just weird. Okay, no, it can't really see her. It still looks proper funky. So yeah, that's a rock. Um, that's a trailer. And yeah, I don't actually want this on screen. So yeah. Oh gosh. And also while I'm showing you the UIs, I'll show you some other stuff. Because there's lots of other things like when you go into here, it shows. It's weird because it's like if you just click onto something, it seems to show it sometimes. Like if I click here, like it shows there, but my recording things and the like. But if I click onto something like this, it doesn't fit weird because yeah. So yeah, it's got the new stuff like the vehicle select UI. There's different sizes as well. I think the medium size is the default one, but I think this is fine. It's slightly more on it than the previous one because I think the one before was just 4 wide, so I'm fine with having this now. So yeah, I'm on Yellow Valley, and definitely not see a slightly in development mod. Anyway, so yeah, if I take Derby Arenas, like you press next step. Oh wait. Oh no, because I was selecting a specific spawn location, so I select say Derby Arenas. I select this one, and then you can either press next step and it brings you to this. Well, I'll show you. Or you go into free roam and it starts with free roam. So if you do next step, then it brings you to the vehicle section, which is very useful because when you're just starting making a mod, sometimes you need to figure out, is my vehicle actually a file that's working in the game, or have I messed something up and I need to redo the files? Whereas previously, you'd have to like open a level and then look at it, which isn't too bad now because we've got more memory. So it takes like less long to do. But also, if you wanted to say, right, what's the value of this? And like, what's the value of this? You can see it, and then you can say change an info file if you're making like some configurations, and then you wouldn't have to like save and reload and stuff loads. Because well, no, you wouldn't have to enter a level just to look at like that. Or if you wanted to just look at what are the vehicles that are available, you can look at it here. It's making many UI sounds, to be honest. There's just metal bits there. Interesting. But yeah, there's also the Vivar says it's running light, turn off when you indicate. I looked at it, it makes sense that they do that. This is a new load. This is just one of the default configurations, but it's got some tires on. And also the large tire prop now uses the large tires from the new large vehicles because they have the like better 3D mesh or something. The MD series has one of its conflicted datas has been reworked. Also, I didn't choose this map specifically because it had a bit of an industrial area. That's just a bit of a coincidence. And quite a few vehicles have had some suspension mesh alignment. Some improvements have been done to that text systems at less memory. Oh gosh, I've split my head very memory. It also, I always find it funny to look at this sort of stuff in terms of like, you can look at the engine 20.4 litres. I can very much imagine people are going to shove that into like a Miramar or something. Maybe a Sunburst, something like that. As you can see, it's got 800 litre fuel tank, which, to be fair, you can actually have more than that in the T-Series, I figured out. And one of the race steering wheels has been modified to be close to what it's supposed to be like. Also, it's quite interesting that tires possibly easier, probably just because that was heavy or something, and there's a lot of weight going into it. So this is almost, what, 50 tons, 50,000 kilograms? Yeah. No, let's not flip it again. Anyway. The logs have got a remaster, which is funny because the logs aren't even that old. And it's like the hay bale remaster, right? It's just a bit funny. You can see it obviously works like you would expect. It does have license plates and stuff. I don't see any at least. Yeah, no, there must be some somewhere, I think. Oh no, there is, they're just really small. Maybe? No, I don't know. What's that? Yeah, simple containers, like not these ones, the container prop. There's a simplified version of that. That is used by default on the container trailers, and they don't have doors on, which I thought was a bit sad because they'd be like interesting in a craft and stuff. But it's because most of the time it just adds a lot more performance for very little benefit, because they also don't have interiors. That just make it a lot simpler. The Italy map has got quite a few new things in relation to this, because you can see there's a marble quarry spec. Oh yeah, blocks of marble. That was the other prop as well, so I remember now. Obviously, say to it one, And I like this one. Is for crushing stuff in reverse at a junkyard. No, you know that people are just going to do that to random traffic on West Coast USA or something. Anyway, like marble quarry. The one I have is a rough terrain package apparently. But yeah, there's a marble quarry. I just chose this one because it has more stuff apparently, basically. Because there's a marble quarry on Italy now, and next to it there's also a block yard. You definitely did that. You think of Minecraft block, quartz block and marble. Anyway, and a coastal road next to it has been reworked, so it's got like a tunnel now. That was quite smooth actually. I think there's some of these icons to be. I don't think there used to be icons next to these. Oh yeah, there wasn't. There was just like 3 lines to show it was info. But now it's got icons for what it is, which is good. I think. Look, I've actually damaged the steering. Ooh. Well, I guess. The amount of file size taken up by the default levels of the game has gone from about 60 gigabytes to about 40 gigabytes, which is quite a lot of a difference. Like, really, that's a lot. One other thing is when you reset the vehicle, it doesn't say, like, orbit camera and temporarily switch. Like, what does temporarily switch even mean? It's something I've questioned for a long time playing this game. Because it stays in that. It stays in it basically until, right, so I have my default is arcade, so if I control reset this, is it now, no, it's still in, like, even control resetting is still in arcade. It's only if you spawn a new vehicle. I would go then that your vehicle being realistic. Like, I'd say the only way to permanently change it is to change the default in the settings, but yeah, when you just reset the vehicle, that's definitely not temporarily switched. That's, yeah, so we'll have to try and focus on this while talking, which is going to be good for creators, because if you pay attention to many YouTube videos, you see that the creators, they've like they've had a cut in the video, because the UI messages will either disappear suddenly or appear suddenly. And also, when it's like when load screens fade now, they also do it more smoothly, at least as far as I can tell. So, oh, I nearly hit the lamppost. That was quite funny. Wait, is this actually high enough to hit the lamppost? Right, well, I'll talk about that. Because, yeah, this is a big update, similar to in the top right about now. Like the first T-Series update, or one of the T-Series updates. Well, that does look a little bit funky on that collision. Oh my, that is an interesting Jodine. I'm going to presume that's sports, because you can obviously put stuff in there. Speaking of Jodine, but you can also the Jodine node clusters, which is like visualization, like a new visualization option, which I guess is good. Another new feature is survivor pace. So, be wondering why it's steering the wrong way. Anyway, it's me, by the way, I was why. Survivor pace, so basically, like, instead of just having your most recent or your best time at like a track or whatever, you get like a sort of a combination of the past few attempts, including DNS apparently, which more sort of mean you go for consistency instead of just getting the best time. So instead of just hot lapping, you can go for consistency. Probably not good for me because there's a lot more anxiety because I like test the scenario like several times. I just randomly restart and stuff. Anyway, I think that's a good mechanism. So, um, Rally has a thing called Rally Loop, which seems a bit like more real life. It's loud. Anyway, it seems that you glasses this does great nicely. So that's like the Rally Loop is a bit like a simulator of real life, I'd say. In that, oh gosh, I'm not looking at where I'm going. Because it's like you drive from the start, like somewhere to the start of the stage, and eventually at the end you go back to where you start in the parking lot in Italy. I did have a quick look, and you have to not be early or late, but there is a time skip feature for if you are early, which has a interaction keybind. Yeah, an interactive menu like in gameplay keybind, which is the same as the time skip. The tachometer is also better now, so I think it's like it might fix that issue where, funnily enough, there's an issue where if you have certain cars that can have really high RPM, so generally electric cars in Beam have been causing this. Like the highest one would end up stuck at like 14 or something, which wouldn't be right, of course, and it wouldn't change anything, but it just look different. So yeah, maybe that'll be fixed now, because I think it's something to do with that is fixed Well, and also some general better things. The warnings for if you're at or close to minimum game requirements, like there's less warnings. The game complains at you a bit less about it. I don't actually have an issue with that, like generally. Like I had it when I first opened the game, and I've had it like a few times on my settings and done funky stuff. But other than that, it's basically been fine for not having that. Then I did with heavy construction. Yeah, these vehicles are quite intensive as well, once you might be able to get many nodes and beams and stuff. I have no idea what's happening, by the way. Yeah. Mod loading is, there's supposedly some fixed stuff to do with mod loading. With like the mods loading later and stuff, which I did maybe have happen to me recently, thankfully. Well, there is different stuff you can have in the back of it, like the quarry one, I meant the marble quarry one has some different stuff in it, and that black bit isn't in there for all of them. I don't think that's the default. If you press escape when you're in a mission marker, it now sort of works as intended, and it actually does escape, and not just like giving you the mission options, which is good. Oh, look, I was thinking I was going to break it, no, it's only bent it back out. Wow. They are quite strong, a lot of vessels. That is why it weighs so much. And also, like, and you know, it's so big just that I can transport more. That's why it's so big. Well, I imagine that the use of detailed mirrors would be quite graphic intensive, because the bus ones are. Well, I imagine so, at least. In career mode, the dealership, you select the dealership before you buy a car now, because I guess, and also dealerships add a different price on to the list value. I swear it looks like it. Have I seen it? I swear it looks like a dirt road. I didn't think it was a dirt road, and yeah, it really isn't. And yeah, so the career stuff, they've reintroduced the more complex insurance mechanic, but there is an option to the simple one. It understeers speed known, but I think having options is always good. Apart from can sometimes get cluttered with options, but I think that having more options is always better than just like deciding one feature that you have to have or have to not have. This is a bit of a problem with Minecraft currently, and the bug fixing. Like, BeamDev seems to be fixing quite a lot more bugs currently. I mean, they don't have two versions to be doing things that. Oh, I say that. Can you count Linux as one? I don't know. And does Minecraft have a native Linux? I don't think it would. Probably not, because it's owned by Microsoft, and they probably won't use their Windows. Yeah, a little bit of size for Windows. Anyway, I do think that having options is good in games. Also in Korea, when you're parking cargo, you can get more money or have money taken away depending on how well you park it. In garage, from garage to garage missions, we've got a lot. There's been one for the quarry, and there's also, you can create specific vehicle sets for it now. I imagine the quarry is doing that one, and you can, like, the procedural vehicle sets thing still should work with, although it might work better for you, like, specific vehicle sets is what they're saying. I need to get through here and read at the same time. I mean, you can just look at the suspension. It's actually quite bouncy. If you look at it like here, okay, right, it didn't bounce, but it can be quite bouncy in ways that I guess it's just because it's not supposed to be doing this. Like I said, it's supposed to be going slowly. And also not for this speed either. Yeah, brake lines, like hydraulic brake lines specifically, can be damaged. Oh my god. Anyway, hydraulic brake lines can be damaged and then like work less or stop working because of that. As on the Steam Deck, and coming to everybody soon apparently, is cloud backup. So most stuff is going to be cloud saved. Only on the Steam Deck currently though. However, not large files such as screenshots and replays. And screenshots and replays sure they can be large, but they aren't always. Well, it depends on the size of your replay. My replays generally aren't too large. So if you're recording a replay for a whole session, like if I was just recording a replay, the entire, it's going to be like 35 minutes of video. More than that, probably. Slowing down a bit. Actually, to be fair, the engine might be a bit damaged. Yeah. Gosh. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's cloud saves stuff, but I don't really know what stuff it's going to cloud save, if I'm being honest. I'm probably going to end up crashing into space here. That deflated my rear tire. What? Anyway, that does just look so sweaty now. Probably because it is a bit sweaty, but it's really floating. Yeah, so I don't know how the cloud save system works, but yeah, apparently. Shadows, like, some stuff has been improved to them, which is good, because it's, like, better looking and slightly better performing as well, which is win-win, basically. AI is spread better on... AI is going to be... I've got a massive bit of metal stuff here. AI is going to be spread better on, like, poor quality roads, or... It also said isolated roads, but poor quality roads, that sort of thing. And also, they should be better on sharp corners. That is one thing I was going to test, but I didn't. I actually did test quite a few things and not just take the same man's word for it. So yeah, I like how I know that that is actually different to the other ones. Also, if you like do this and then change vehicle, it stays. But I think it's how it worked before. Yeah, that's how it worked before anyway. It's apparently fixed the input sound, no, the impact sounds, like damage sounds, no, impact sounds on warning, which I couldn't be bothered testing. So, another world editor thing is the audio ribbon editor, which is easier than doing audio stuff more manually, and also an asset deduplicator. And I was going to load up Apple Weapons, so you're going to have to give it a second. But apparently, it's got some sort of toolbar-like things. If we're talking about Minecraft again, think of it like the save bars. Oh, look, it goes further right. That's really good as well. I mean, the stuff up here used to be time of day stuff, which isn't too important, but sometimes it is. Sidewalk spline, I don't know if I've even seen that before. I don't know what some of these are, I'm going to be honest. I've literally, I thought that was the new one, but it's not. So you can, I will create some more of these, because I don't need most of these most of the time. I'm glad, because I had the issue recently where I had to like decrease the UI size in order, because my object select kept getting cut off the end, and that was a proper pain and just annoying. So I'm very glad that's fixed. Uh, and I'll make some actual sets for this later that actually work for me. better. And some fixes to the level validator. You can also pick an object to show its material, or show all objects with a specific material. You can see sort of statistics for assets, and I don't know if it's in a specific level or if it's just generally, but you can see them in it. From the screenshots, it looks like it does visualize it quite well. VR should be better now during the likes of rollover collisions, because of it locks the driver cam to the horizon or something like that. And you can like and subscribe if you want, because it's going to crash into there before I get to it, isn't it? Because the Lua suffers better security and less crashes, which is also a bit of a win-win. Full battery and works like because apparently, well, I say better. Apparently, the Lua has been harder. But I'm just going to take that word for being harder. Right, you can go here. So, yeah, that is it. I don't think, obviously, these aren't going to be useful for everything, but considering that there wasn't too many mods for it, I was thinking about it. There's actually a farming pack that's like as old now, like, actually it's rather very old, but you probably have seen before. It's got, I think it's on with a combine harvester. No, that was one main thing that had sort of heavy machinery, and I've seen a few other, like, there's a train mod that's quite cool, and there's some other various things. And obviously the bulldozer, but that's also old. I think there might have been a revamp or something at some point, but yeah. I presume this does also mean more stuff like this will be added at some point, and you can also look at the teasers if you want, because they do tend to show this sort of stuff. Yeah, this is a very interesting update. It doesn't have some, like, the vehicles themselves don't have the most uses, but just knowing that they are there is, like, very cool. Like, it's just nice to have them, and I'm sure some of the things that work with them will be used in other ways. Like some of the features that they use, like maybe a sort of funky back steering like this. Maybe some of the vehicle will use it as a joke at people, that sort of stuff. Because yeah, so yeah, this is some heroic use technically in an update. They are actually more modern vehicles, like around the 2000s mark, and yeah, so some props, some marble stuff, especially in Italy, and some vehicles that are niche but very cool and have some heavy machinery that's just nice to have, especially in Beam, which is a game about being realistic. So of course it should have this sort of stuff because these do exist. In fact, I wonder if the cannon might get something. The cannon, it would just be weird having somebody push the cannon. Or I say somebody, it would be like the snowman or the debug mesh, I suppose. But yeah, this is the update. Yeah, goodbye.